tasty cocktail and tasty conversation. Be sure to reach out to the boys on Twitter at the Recipe Boys, boys being spelled B-O-Y-Z, and check this episode's description for more information. Now pour yourself a drink, and cheers to you for listening.
Zombie, 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 senor. Oh, it's so beautiful.
And their tanks, and their bombs,
and their bombs,
and their guns.
Oh, man.
Rest in peace, Sinead O'Connor.
Rest in peace. Not Sinead O'Connor. It's another Irish person.
No, it's not Sinead O'Connor.
No, it's not Sinead O'Connor in the Cranberries. Welcome back.
Welcome back to The Recipe, a podcast where we start off with a tasty cocktail and we lead into a tasty conversation.
Some would say even tastier conversation. Depends on the cocktail, though.
Yeah, that's true. Some are winners and some are losers.
Yep. We're all winners.
We're the winners here.
Yep. We all got participation trophies.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. Welcome back if you're a returning customer, listener, and
Honored guest.
honored everything. It's a good one.
If you were here, we'd make you a drink.
Yeah.
We'd make you a drink.
Yeah, but only 2 per person.
Yeah.
Limit 2 per customer.
No, yeah. I feel like it's got to be like a comedy club where there's a minimum. They have to drink a certain amount to find us funny while we're talking.
No, you have to have a 4 Local before you get here.
Yeah, it's for Luke.
We don't want them breaking shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Only at Taylor's apartment.
Right. Did you see the thing that someone was tweeting? Is like 20 years from now, you're going to see like an ad for a law firm being like, "Did you ever drink 4 Locos?"
That's
You
now.
might be entitled to compensation.
There's lawyers who do that now.
Yeah, probably.
So this drink is going to die really quickly.
Okay.
So I wanted to say, tell us what mugs you guys are having them in. It's another tiki drink.
Yes, in actual tiki mugs this time, which is really, really exciting.
Check our Instagram for reference.
Yes, if you don't already know, the title of this episode is Zombies on Zombies. Mm-hmm. So, and today we're drinking some zombies, and we have these awesome tiki mugs Lex has, and my tiki mug is Venom. Cool enough.
Yeah. Just makes sense, right?
Yeah, because it's Venom.
Yeah.
I've got a wonderful gremlin, but it's very tiki looking.
Oh yeah. That's a really good one.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
He's
That's what I went
here
for.
to-
It was hard to find. This one sold out in like a day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And I was like, I have to have that.
It's also appropriate because he'll just fuck you up.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you a little double there. And then I got one that I got at Trader Sam's in Disney. It's a little Krakatoa volcano guy. You'll see in the Instagram.
It looks cool.
It's
looks cool.
villagers, celebrating and fearing their exploding volcano.
You know, I didn't know that was a Disney mug, but I see it now and I'm just like, that is definitely Disney. It's got that kind of vibe to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's can we try these drinks?
Yeah,
Jump
let's try
into it.
'em.
Let's just jump into it. Let's
Tell
do
us.
it. Cheers. I'm over here.
Yes. What do you guys think?
Delicious and boozy.
It's strong, but it's not overbearing. Like I can tell it's really boozy, but it just goes down. It's not a big deal.
I think we fucked up. We should have done this one first.
No, we'd be so drunk.
Yeah, I know, but
Take a guess, guys. Guess how many ounces of rum is in this cocktail?
Just ounces.
Yeah. Guess how many ounces of rum?
3.
I'm biased because I kind of know.
What is it?
It's 4.
Yes. It's 4, and one of which is 75% alcohol.
Oh, now it's working. The straw is good.
Oh, beautiful.
This is fucking delicious. Wow. Guys, so we're going to get into the details on how this is the way that it was supposed to be made. And I'm going to tell you, every other zombie I've had is shit compared to this guy.
Yep.
Well, this tastes like a drink.
Yeah.
Like an
Craft
actual
cocktail.
drink.
Yep.
It tastes like a cocktail.
This is one of Don Beach's Rum Rhapsodies I told you guys about in the Mai Tai episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably the second most famous tiki drink ever made,
But
infamous, and I'll explain why.
yeah, Lex will go over it. But to our guests, if you're at home and you have all these ingredients, there's a lot included in this drink. Make this drink, and cheers to you for listening, because this is a good drink.
Actually, I'm going to get right to the chase. If you don't have everything that's in this drink, just wait around or read the description, because I have a simpler, easier way to make a more traditional zombie. I'm going to call it my reboot. We might name it later. I was going to give you guys the option to name it for me, because you're my brainstorm trust.
We got you
my
covered.
think tank, my drink tank. Yeah, my drink tank.
We're the drink tank.
Yeah. So I came up with a much simpler but still honest version of the zombie. So the zombie, I'm going to tell you guys the recipe first, and then I'll tell you the history. So the recipe, the first thing you got to know is there's something called Don's Mix, invented by Don the Beachcomber in 1934. It is 2 parts grapefruit, white grapefruit specifically, to 1 part cinnamon syrup. And all cinnamon syrup is simple syrup with cinnamon sticks in it. However much cinnamon is up to you. He probably put, I think, 3 sticks per cup of sugar. So he liked it cinnamony. What I do is I do a little bit less than that because otherwise it just tastes like cinnamon powder. And then I put a stick or 2 in the bottle with the syrup and let it.
Oh, so you cook the cinnamon sticks with it?
Yes, you cook cinnamon. You don't grind it. You just cook the cinnamon sticks. You take them out later. And then what I do is I put 2 fresh ones in the bottle to just like let it be a softer cinnamon flavor.
And that way you know what it is.
Question from the class. Can you kind of let our audience know that normally when they order a zombie at a bar, this is not what they're drinking?
No, not even close.
So like
the zombie, I'm going to go into that in the history, but the zombie is the single most, probably the most bastardized drink in American history. And it makes me very angry. But I'm a purist, and I think I'm winning you guys over. Because I think Taylor was like, why do I care about fig zombies? I've been drinking zombies my whole life. But now you've had this, and you think?
Well, I won't say that other ones are, I mean, this is just a very good drink. So I'll say that I agree that this is like, you know, whether or not you can say that every cocktail that's a little, you know, kind of modified is still the original cocktail. I think that's a bit of a ship of Theseus kind of argument, you know, like at what point does it completely change if you change 1 or 2 of the ingredients? So, but this is just a really fucking good cocktail.
Well, let me tell you, I said it to you via text message. I'll say it again to the audience. You know, mint julep is made with bourbon. If you made it with Jameson's whiskey, it's not really a mint julep, is it?
See, maybe not Jameson because that's Irish whiskey.
I know, I'm picking.
But if you were to do like, if you did like bourbon or rye or something
the
like
reason
that,
the reason I'm saying this, well, it is bourbon in the recipe, and the bourbon is not specified unless it's Kentucky bourbon. But what I'm saying is, you see that where you see zombies made with different fruit juices that are not in the zombie, and it's made with different types of rum. You know, but you order a zombie, and the first thing you see someone break out is Bacardi white rum and triple sec. There's no white rum.
For the hills.
There's no white rum in a zombie, and there's no triple sec in a zombie. If you see pineapple juice, run for the hills. There's no pineapple juice. There's no orange juice. That's another thing. Orange juice and pineapple juice, and then 3 types of dark rum are more common of what you'll get when you order a zombie. And I'll be honest, you know, it has its time and place because that's what got me into zombies. I had them at a local Chinese restaurant, and it was just pineapple juice, orange juice, grenadine, and a lot of rum. And I was like, this is great. I tracked down the original recipe, and I got to be honest, it's better. Maybe my palate's evolved with it because I've become a better bartender.
It's definitely a completely different drink.
Yeah, and also one of the things I want to say is that it like evolves, to borrow a phrase, that like you take a sip of it and you can feel it change.
Well, the thing is, like, if you drink like a Manhattan, if you use a different whiskey, it's still a Manhattan.
Well,
you know, it's just the recipe, but like this is a completely different drink than the other zombies I've had.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And because there's so many ingredients.
Yes.
Because if you change 1 ingredient, okay, but if you change 4 at a cocktail that's got like, I mean, Jesus, what is this? Like
I wasn't expecting you guys to like it this much. I think you guys are gonna really dislike the new one that I invented, just because I made it for simplicity's sake.
We will have already drank 1 zombie by the time that we have that one, so I think we're gonna like whatever you give us.
Yeah, but this is just remember the complexity of this bad boy. You know, this guy was super complex. I got a lot to talk about with the zombie.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, so it was invented by Don the Beachcomber in 1934. One of the rumors of its invention was that it was invented to help a hungover customer or a drunk customer revive himself before a business meeting that he had later that day.
I gotta say, I can confirm that as a person who was kind of nursing a hangover for most of today, that this really, the whole last hour, garbage. Right now, I'm back to life.
I can tell, actually. I was going to say you're reanimated, and it was going to tie into what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I really am.
I personally think this story is very doubtful. If the guy was hungover from the day before and came in for this specifically, I believe it. But if the guy was already drinking at the bar and he drank this to sober himself up, not a shot.
Yeah.
Also, wouldn't make sense for the term zombie back then. Back then, the zombie in the 1930s was more akin to a Walking Dead person. Not Walking Dead the show, but as in a person who... a zombie was a person who's basically emotionless, enslaved to a half-life of no feelings or emotions. That was a Haitian myth. I don't think they originated the term, but they used it a lot. Haitian plantation owners would tell their slaves that they would become zombies to discourage them from committing suicide because they didn't want to lose their slave labor. And so zombies were kind of a cursed life, similar to like Pirates of the Caribbean. Can't taste, can't have sex, can't enjoy anything, have no sense of touch or feeling. That's what being a zombie was, not the taste of flesh.
So the original zombies had nothing to do with the dead. The original zombies were voodoo witch doctors would give people concoctions that would turn them into like that half-life you're talking about. But they did that to turn them into slaves, to make people kind of more suggestible. And they gave them these weird compounds that they believe were based on blowfish. They drugged them, yeah.
So that's just a note that I dug up looking into the recipe. I think more the origin of the drink, more likely, I think the zombie was named to inspire the thought of being, Walking Dead, where Don would limit, like he would write in the menu, limit. Let me say that from the beginning because this is getting me drunk. Holy shit. Fuck, we should leave that line in. Holy fuck. I only drank like a quarter of it. More likely, the zombie was named to inspire the thought of being, one of the Walking Dead, because Don would limit.
Again, they weren't dead.
Yeah,
The zombies from voodoo, from Haitian culture, were not dead. It wasn't until Night of the Living Dead that George A. Romero invented the concept of the living dead. I'm just
reading the notes that I found on my hour research into zombies and Haitian culture.
You mean 10 hours?
10 hours.
Yeah.
It's for the past 2 weeks he's been working on this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So Don would put limit 2 per customer, which apparently was not very well enforced, was probably a marketing tactic to get people curious about the drink and ask about it. But since Don famously kept his cocktails a secret, this is one of the cocktails that we talked about being very poorly imitated or recreated with entirely different ingredients. Most bars, every bar I've ever been to, will serve just a blend of rums, white, gold, dark. So like Bacardi white, Bacardi gold, Myers dark is what you often see. And then mix it with pineapple juice, orange juice, and grenadine, and just call it a day. So the only fruit in the original was a touch of lime and grapefruit. The actual zombie cocktail has Don's mix, which I defined before, which is the grapefruit and cinnamon syrup, 2-for-1 ratio, and falernum. Falernum is a allspice, clove, ginger, lime, and almond liqueur, very popular in the Caribbean because it's very native spices and fruits and herbs from there. So to make your own zombie, you need 3/4 ounces of fresh lime juice. You're getting drunk, Max.
I'm just swinging my arms.
Dude, Max is stretching.
I'm not.
Holy
doesn't mean I'm drunk. I'm just stretching.
So to make the zombie, you need 3/4 ounce fresh lime juice.
The blood back in my veins.
Oh my God. Can I do this?
You're very easily distracted this round.
I have ADHD and I'm drinking a zombie.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start from the beginning. So to make a zombie, it's 3/4 ounce fresh lime juice, 1/2 ounce of that Don's mix, which would be about, that 1/2 ounce would be 2 parts grapefruit juice, 1 part cinnamon syrup, white grapefruit specifically, 1/2 ounce falernum, which is that liqueur that I told you about, 1.5 ounces of gold Puerto Rican rum. I use Bacardi 8 because it's the most readily available to our listeners, and it is delicious. It's my favorite gold rum so far. 1.5 ounce aged Jamaican rum. I use Appleton Estate 12-year, which I'd never had before, but I drank Appleton Estate a lot, and it's awesome.
Appleton's great.
Yep, Appleton is awesome. And then you have 1 ounce of 151 Lemon Hart Demerara Rum. Really difficult to track down at first. Now I see it everywhere. A lot of Tiki rums are starting to be a little bit easier to find in the past year. Dash of bitters, 6 little eye drops of Pernod or Absinthe, which is, obviously an anisette or licorice flavored liqueur made from wormwood. You have a teaspoon of grenadine, and then a bunch of crushed ice that you can either blend or beat before, like blend or mash, and put into the glass beforehand. And you garnish it with mint, where I take the mint sprigs and I beat the top of the glass, and then put the sprigs in before I pour. The reason you crush the ice is because really crushed ice is the only thing dilute in this drink. It's mostly because falernum has alcohol in it, bitters has a little bit of alcohol in it, absinthe has alcohol, some grenadines have alcohol in them. The only thing you have is a little bit of lime juice, 3/4 ounces, and ice.
Yeah.
you're basically just drinking a very, very big shot.
It's rocket fuel. It's great.
Yeah. And so the nice thing about this, since the drink was so secret, the original recipe from 1934 was finally tracked down by a guy named Jeff Beachbum Berry in 2007. So people have only been drinking the authentic zombie outside of a Trader Vic's outside of a Down the Beachcombers for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I recommend that everyone read that Beachbum Berry's books. There's a few of them on Amazon Kindle that are like $1.
So how did he track it down?
That's a complicated question because he doesn't always tell you exact information of how he tracked it down, except for certain ingredients involved. But one of the things that he would regularly do is he could look up shipping manifests of certain bars in certain decades. He would look at menus and compare the menus for when they were copyrighted versus the pricing of the menus. So he'd know, oh, if this menu was using this rum, at 1965, and because I could tell it's 1965 because this drink is $1.50 and not $1, based on the inflation rate of the dollar. He did a lot of stuff. He found old bartenders. He found their bar books and their little secret diaries where they explain certain things. Like they wrote themselves little notes. But if he didn't have the person and he had diary only, he couldn't really crack a lot of it until he found another guy who worked at that same bar at the same time. He's like, oh yeah, Emmett wrote this. And so he did a lot of secondhand research. And the hardest thing for him to figure out was what was Don's mix. And then when he finally cracked the cinnamon syrup, he had the zombie.
Can we write a screenplay of like Trader Vic and all these guys?
I think the rights are somewhere.
These guys are all lawyered up, man. There's so many lawsuits and
they've all written.
things.
They've all written their own books too.
Yeah.
Trader Vic has like a lot of his bar books, like his recipe books, are autobiographies.
I want a movie
We can
about this shit.
option the rights.
Well, there's something I was going to
You
talk
know who
about.
probably owns it? Disney.
That's true.
Disney Plus, December 12th.
I gotta say, man, the tea culture seems to be really kind of gatekeepy. They don't. There's a right way to make drinks. You got to be this and that.
Can I tell you why?
Sure.
It's a little bit like, not the kids get off my lawn, but it's like my father and my father before me did it this way. And so what happened is tiki culture was a really good impetus for the spread of really interesting, complex, flavor forward and fresh cocktails in America. And a lot of these, even though they were chain restaurants, they had a lot of standards and a lot of spec, what I call specification of like how much, and they measured things very, very accurately, and everything was fresh, squeezed, and delivered and everything.
To measure all that accurately.
Yeah, everything had to be measured accurately.
The 19 ingredients.
Yeah, you did. And so
Because if you didn't, the goddamn drink would overflow.
yeah, if you didn't, it didn't taste like it. And so the reason why is because people have a lot of pride in that work. And also, a lot of the people, there was this huge influx of people who were really interested and could remember tiki bars in the 80s and 90s and did a lot of research and tried to rediscover these drinks. And they put a lot of effort in making sure the drinks were as pure and representative of the decades they were created and the times they were created. They don't like to see the names tarnished, which is what they were. The zombie and the Mai Tai. I go to places and the Mai Tai isn't even served in an old-fashioned glass. The Mai Tai is served as a daiquiri, and it's frozen, and it's blue. Or the Bacardi zombie is...
What is it that they wanted here and everything blue?
Yeah, because...
Why is blue the color?
I actually can tell you.
Throw a
Actually,
dash of blue.
Yeah, there's a-
blue curacao in there.
Yeah,
It
no,
makes
it
it
holds
red.
together.
Actually,
better.
it's the Blue Hawaiian made for the Elvis Presley movie.
Oh my God, the fake zombie juice is blue too.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
we
We went to this great liquor store out in Long Island, and I told Lex that he shouldn't bother making this drink because Bacardi makes a ready to go mix.
Yeah, so zombie people kind of despise that because there's a lot of craft. You saw how hard I worked to make these 3 drinks.
Yeah.
You see how many fucking bottles of booze.
You tried to get us to help you. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's-
You see all the bottles of booze in my bar? It's a lot of work to get this stuff right, but you see the difference now that you guys have tried it. I don't see this as gatekeeping. I see this as standard. There's a lot of quality standards in being tiki because you have people like Sven Tiki who researched and found a lot of old menus and designs and murals and posters and has photos of tiki bars from back when, and he created a whole art book of the art of tiki. Sven, his name is Sven Tiki. Beach Bum Berry, who tracked down all these recipes. He found it from shipping manifests and doing inflation rates for prices to find out what decades the menus were from, and finding out copyright laws and reading autobiographies and interviewing bartenders and finding the daughters of bartenders and finding recipe books and safes that he bought the rights to. There was a lot of work done. The guy who wrote the book Smuggler's Cove and owned Smuggler's Cove, Martin Cate, did a lot of research in making this stuff right. Where he actually had to invent his own rum with Denizen to make the Mai Tai rum. They don't want people just going out and calling things a Mai Tai or calling things a zombie and just putting whatever they want in it.
I will say for the past few episodes, I've been slightly a hater on drinks, as in like, I don't really care. It follows the recipe to what you kind of want or whatever. But tasting this specific zombie that Lex made for us, graciously, thank you. And actually tasting, because I first got introduced to zombies in Brooklyn. There's a cool bar called Zombie Hut, right, in Brooklyn somewhere. Mm-hmm. And they have a zombie on the menu. And it's like a blended frozen drink. It's very, very orange. Clearly there's orange juice in there somewhere. And
or like passion fruit juice.
Yeah, like if you substitute like a different like tequila for a margarita, only like really good tequila guys are gonna know that there's a different tequila in there.
But if you make a margarita without, triple sec or Cointreau,
right,
it's not a margarita.
But tasting this zombie versus tasting the zombie that I recently had at Zombie Hut, and also like 2 weeks ago, because we had kind of pre-talked about, we try to plan this podcast out to an extent, and I made a zombie at home, and I made this zombie. I sent a picture out to Lex. You can check the Instagram for my fake zombie picture, but Lex is like, send me the recipe, and he's like, that's a fake zombie. And when I made it, I was like, whatever, I'm just like making a zombie. It's what the recipe calls for that I found online. And Lex is like, I physically have been proven wrong by tasting it.
Right.
This is a completely different drink than what I had a week ago. Completely different.
Yeah. So the first place I had it was at Tommy Bahama's restaurant in Midtown. And that's a great spot.
Yeah, they probably make, if it's not accurate, they probably make their own interpretation of it. There's a difference between bastardization and making a great.
Look, I'm not hating on Zombie Hut. It's a fun bar. It's like, but it's just their menu drink, and they make it in a blender and they just pour shit in. Like they're doing mass quantities.
Of course. And I interrupted you. What were you going to say about Tommy Bahamas?
I was going to say that the Tommy Bahamas in Midtown, great restaurant / bar. Huge fan. And they have one. I showed you the recipe also, and you're like, no, that's not it either.
I don't think I saw it.
I think I showed it to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, I found somewhere online that said that they knew how they made it, but that's the thing is that there is, and I think I mentioned this before, the second reference to the ship of Theseus. But like, at what point do you consider it a new drink when you've substituted one ingredient or another? But what I will say, hearing how much fruit juice is an important thing in other versions of the drink, this one subtle fruit flavor. You definitely get the lime. You get the grapefruit, but it's not overpowering.
That's it.
And if it's people are using like passion fruit, then get that shit out of here.
Well, actually, the funny thing is my reinterpretation has passion fruit. So the reason I invented it, the reason I did the re-release was to bridge the gap, between what people expected from a zombie and what the zombie really was. I think for me, the definition of the difference in like when a drink is reinvented or when it's just bastardized is whether or not you knew and respected the original. Because if you're just taking the name and you don't know what's in it, so you're just going to make something, basically what everyone else made was a rum punch.
Yeah. But also the thing that's special about this one is that people didn't know what was in the original.
No, but they knew what it tasted like.
Yeah. Well, some people did.
Don the Beachcomber was a franchise.
Well, I would say like, when you're making a different, like let's say a Manhattan, it calls for whiskey and sweet vermouth. If you just pick your specific whiskey you like, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, but the more complex the drink gets, the more artful you have to be with your
This drink tastes completely different than the other zombie I made at home a week ago.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about reinvention versus bastardization.
Yeah.
What's the better word for that? Reinvention versus ripoffs.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
I could read you the ingredients right now of the zombie I made at home. It is nothing like the ingredients on this list.
Except that it's a light rum, it's a dark rum, and it's a gold rum, right?
It's orange juice, lemon juice, and lime juice, and it's like those aren't the juices used in this. I mean, they're some, but not all of them.
Only lime juice. Read it out. Tell us.
I will read you. So this a week ago, I was because we were talking about doing the zombie episode, and I was like, I want to make a zombie at home just to try it out because I got into the cocktail thing. And then I'll read you the recipe for the zombie in the app that we talked about not too long ago. So it's 1 ounce of dark rum, 1 ounce of white rum. It doesn't specifically say which rums to use. You could use it. You could use
The country the rum is for is way more important. The country the rum is from is way more important than.
Yeah.
Next time I do an episode, I want to talk about light and dark alcohols, and I want to talk about tequila and whiskey and rum.
Yeah.
But it's what's most important is the country it comes from.
So the fake zombie, and when I made this drink, it's bright orange, by the way. It's 1 ounce of dark rum, 1 ounce of white rum, 1 ounce of orange curacao or triple sec, your choice. 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 1.5 ounce of orange juice, 1/2 ounce of passion fruit syrup. I've replaced it with passion fruit liquor because I couldn't find passion fruit syrup. 1/4 ounce of grenadine and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Shaken over ice, poured over ice.
So there's some overlap, but there's some key differences as well.
When you
Oh,
get
yeah.
a drink that complex, right? If you have 4 of the same 8 ingredients, you're still not even close.
We got to do 8 or more.
I'm just saying, like, if you're talking about an 8 ingredient drink and you have 4 of 8, you're half there. That's still a failing grade.
Yeah.
It's
still a failing grade.
Switching out orange juice in this drink would completely change it.
What are some bad experiences you had at bars? You talk about Zombie Hut or drinks that were not made right.
Oh God.
I mean, I will say Zombie Hut was a good experience overall. I was with some friends. It was fine. But if the goal of the zombie there was just to fuck you up, they did a good job.
Probably one of the worst ones that I ever did. Wasn't at a bar. It was at a party. And the drink that they were serving, like the signature drink, was Manhattan's. Huge Manhattan fan. And they made it with scotch. And for those of you who aren't big whiskey drinkers or even casual fans, the scotch tastes so different. It's so peaty. It's so different
Smoky.
flavor from, smoky.
Smoking.
Right. Just a totally different kind of thing. It changes the whole vibe of it. And, I kept asking the bartender, I was like, this fucking tastes weird. Like, what's in it that's so different? And he's just like, no. And it was one of those things that these guys are like not really bartenders. They're like models that get hired to be bartenders.
You
Yeah,
look
but it's
good.
not their fault. It's the fucking manager's fault.
Well, actually, so it ended up that, because I kept pressing, because I was like, there's no fucking way. And then the guy eventually showed me he was using, Johnny Walker instead. And I was just like, okay, that's why it's gross. But it ends up that the host just really likes scotch. And so he wanted to make this drink. But if there is another thing that can happen. It's not you're remaking the drink and calling it the same name. It's creating a new drink and calling it something different. And in the case of, I think it's called a Rob Roy when you make it with scotch.
Yeah.
And that's fine because that's a different drink, but it's inspired by it.
Do you know how many drinks they have that are created off the zombie?
All of them.
You have the walking. You have the Day of the Dead. You have the Undead Gentleman. Those are 2 I can name just off the top of my head without even investigating. Those are drinks that came from people trying to recreate the zombie, knowing it wasn't accurate and not feeling comfortable enough to give it the same name.
I like that. I think that that's a cool thing to do.
The Undead Gentleman, to me, is a beautiful name for a cocktail, especially a tiki cocktail.
Yeah.
Tiki cocktails always had to have a kind of a story in the name because that was part of the theater of the mind,
Yeah.
What a perfect mix, tiki and cocktails. I mean, tiki and podcasting.
Yeah.
Theater of the mind, theater of the senses,
I don't know if you guys heard, but I finished my drink.
I did. So what do you think is
Well, Max, what's your one?
My what?
The bad version of the drink you had.
Oh, so yeah, the zombie. Well, I've had.
Should we-
Should we preface him or something like that?
No, because he wouldn't know the difference. Yeah. He wouldn't. I'm serious. I'm not being mean. You wouldn't know. If I made you a
but-
shitty margarita, you wouldn't know.
But he could know that
Now
it doesn't
you know,
taste
but
good.
you would have known a year ago.
Yeah. But you know what? It's like
I don't
art.
know.
It's like I don't know art, but I know what I like.
I've had good margaritas, and I've had the ones that
Oh.
taste super sweet at bars. I just don't complain about it.
I'm just going to say anyone who puts grenadine in their old fashioned.
People do that.
Yeah, because they don't have cherries. They just put grenadine. And
Who doesn't have cherries?
And grenadine is
wrong with them?
not cherry
Plebs.
syrup. Grenadine is pomegranate syrup if it's made right. Unless it's roses and it's garbage and get rid of that.
Yeah.
So now you guys see why I'm a purist, right? I'm gonna make you one that's a little bit more pedestrian, a little bit more accessible. And we'll see what you guys think.
Okay, cool.
So, guys, I did it. I made us a drink. I bridged the gap. I want us to try it. You're probably gonna hate it. It's nowhere near worthy of even mentioning Don Beachcomber's name nor his initials, but it is my way of making a zombie that kind of fits the palate of both people who enjoy the zombie, the original, and people who have only ever had the rip-off version. You guys want to try it?
Cheers.
Is there less rum in this?
Just 1 ounce less.
Okay, so a lot less.
Yeah.
1/4 less.
1/4 less. It's not a lot.
It's a quarter. It's
Still got
25%.
Still got falernum and bitters and absinthe.
Would
and
you rather
everything.
take 3 shots of tequila or 4 in one sitting?
Me?
Shot glasses sizes vary wildly. What are you guys' first impressions?
Initial reactions is a lot sweeter. Tastier. I could tell how my girlfriend would love this. She'd be really into this.
That was the impetus, is to make a zombie that both boyfriend and girlfriend would like.
not a bad choice.
What do you think, Taylor?
Very good.
My
I
father
like
used to
it.
tell me very good when I did okay.
Yeah.
It tastes like shit, Lex.
Do I taste a hint of Campbell soup in here?
I love tomato soup.
No, I think that it's definitely sweeter than the other one. It's not as complex. Did you leave out the absinthe?
Nope, it's still on there.
Oh.
It's it's somewhat as complex. What I tried to do was get rid of a lot of the extra rums. So what I
First
did,
mistake.
No, it's a mistake. Thank you. So what I did was I tried to make a drink that people who had only had zombies, secondhand zombies, would enjoy. So what I made was what I call the Zombie Reboot. We can rename it on the pod. It's 2 ounces of Plantation rum, which is a blend. It's clear, but it's not white rum. It's Jamaican, Barbados, and Trinidadian rums blended together. It's very sweet, complex, has a little bit of that nuttiness, that vegetation. It's got basically it's a greatest hits. It's the cha-cha slide, it's the electric slide, it's
Several different slides.
It's the Cotton Eye Joe, it's the block party of rums, It's got all the greatest hits, but none of the substance because people are drunk and throwing up on their front lawns. It's 2 ounces of that. It's pretty easy to find. So I feel like it would be easy for people to make this and kind of elevate their rum repertoire to be alliterative. It's 1 ounce of the Lemon Hart 151 rum, which is also difficult to track down. But if you want, you can use Hamilton 151. Easier to find. It's an ounce of passion fruit juice, an ounce of pineapple juice, to bridge that gap of pineapple juice, which is in the bastardizations we talked about. It's half ounce of falernum to keep in line with its older brother. It's a half ounce of fresh lemon juice, not lime juice, because lemon juice really complemented the pineapple better. Teaspoon of grenadine, dash of absinthe, dash of bitters. That last 3 ingredients is very similar to the original zombie. And also, it's a half ounce of cinnamon syrup. There's no grapefruit juice because white grapefruit is so hard to find due to climate change that even Ocean Spray stopped making white grapefruit juice in bottles. You can only get a mix of ruby red and white mixed, which is mostly ruby red. So I don't think it's fair to make a cocktail or invent a cocktail in 2019 with white grapefruit juice.
Oh, because it's hard to find.
Yeah, it's so hard to find. I mean, in California in 1934, white grapefruit you could trip on on your way to the bar.
What a time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a...
Goddamn grapefruits
Yeah.
in the road again.
You never would think it, but there's full Reddit threads on how do I substitute this grapefruit? What do I do? And like how to squeeze a ruby red so it tastes more like a white grapefruit, and what you use instead, or other fruits or exotic fruits you can order instead of white grapefruit, or where to order white grapefruit for like $75 for a bushel.
Yeah, one of my favorite drinks actually, the Vesper, has a switch out because they don't make
Quinoa Lillet.
Quinoa Lillet anymore.
Yep.
So I use the Cochi Americano, which everyone says tastes the most like the Quinoa Lillet.
Just like the Denizen for the Ray and Nephew 17 year for Mai Tai that I made you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes you gotta adapt. It's not a question of wanting to Disneyfy your cocktail.
Disney-fy.
Well, Distinguished Spirits did a Mai Tai review where they made the Mai Tai 3 different ways, which was a blend of Hamilton rum and another rum agricole. Hamilton black rum and rum agricole was one way. They used the Denizen for both rums. It's 2 ounces of Denizen. And they did the Ray and Nephew 17 year, which they paid $1,300 for. And they had a taste test, and every single person picked a different one. And they said that the cumulative results is that they all taste kind of the same.
Uh-huh.
So it's really not worth getting too crazy about it. I wanted to pick a rum that would elevate people. Smith & Cross the gold rum, I think would also be a good replacement for Plantation rum. I just wanted to get people to get out of the Bacardi Captain Morgan drain. Mm-hmm. Because there's so much more to rum as a distinguished cocktail besides Captain Morgan, Kraken, and Bacardi.
Yeah. And, love Captain Morgan. I've had many fun nights and difficult mornings because of Captain Morgan, but yeah, I don't really think of it as that,
Beach Bum Berry recommends it when you need a spiced rum because the spiced rum actually is very low in sugar.
Yeah.
But all the Captain Morgan side stuff, the Captain Morgan Coco Loco, the Captain Morgan Fireball, it's all super sugary and sweet. The original Captain Morgan recipe is actually very good. But what I'm saying is that rum is like almost like a whiskey where there's so much distinguished difference that I just want people to see that difference and what a great blend Plantation is to like. Basically, any mixed rum drink, if you use Plantation, you will elevate the drink.
I will say that this drink does have a very distinct taste after I've tried it a few times.
What does it taste like to you?
It has more like a tangy taste on the back of my tongue.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking it side by side from the last drink, so it's hard to tell.
But does it make you think it's overly juicy?
Well, actually, one of the questions I want to ask you guys is between this, which is definitely sweeter, and the last one, which is definitely boozier, which one do you think is going to be more trouble tomorrow? Because sugar is not
Equal.
Yeah?
I would say it's a zero-sum game. We're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
the thing
we're
is,
not.
like,
The house always wins.
The house wins.
like these, dude,
we are drinking and incurring a debt that will be paid
Dude,
tomorrow.
the house
I don't
always
know, like,
wins.
when you
The house of the rising sun.
with tiki drinks with like all the sugar and the rum, oh man, the combination is killer.
What I tried to teach you is the zombie didn't have much sugar. Zombie had what? Quarter ounce cinnamon syrup.
The original
grapefruit.
zombie didn't have much sugar.
Neither did the original Mai Tai. The original Mai Tai was
the
orgeat and lime juice.
The fake zombies that I've had have plenty of sugar.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're using sugar to offset the fact that they're using nail polish remover as rum. Nothing against Bacardi Silver. Bacardi Silver can be used beautifully to bring down the sweetness of a drink, but should not be used as your primary rum. Right. I love Bacardi Silver. I drink Gran Reserva, the clear Gran Reserva, every fucking day I can. It's a very hard bottle to track down, but I drink it whenever I can. Cool. But I'm just saying that there's a craft to it.
Right.
A craft to it.
Now,
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft. Speaking of witchcraft, zombie movies, which are
right.
not
So we've
witchcraft.
been drinking zombies on zombies on zombies, but today at the tail end of our episode, we are talking about zombie movies.
We really shouldn't have made zombies the second part of a twofer. Because you guys are drunk.
Well, I'm good.
I'm fine.
Your guys'
I'm fine. I
eyes
was
are
like,
closed.
I just feel fine.
Your
I feel
eyes
good.
are closed
I feel
more than
good.
they're open.
I feel really good.
Max, your eyes are closed right now.
I can. There's no video. I can close my eyes and talk. I have headphones on.
I close
can
my
hear
eyes. I just need a pillow and a blanket.
I hear you fine. I can talk. I'm right here. The mic's in my face.
You know,
I'm good.
they say that when you accuse other people of being the drunkest one in the room, that you are the drunkest one in the room.
right.
But for once,
Are you still on keto?
The tape? No, the tape.
About to say, 'cause you're definitely the drunk.
No, the tape. The tape will exonerate me because normally when I get drunk, I slur my words really badly.
You're slurring so much and you don't even recognize it.
No, I don't.
Exactly.
You sound like a
Dude,
crazy
I am
person.
240 of muscle. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Max is flexing his biceps. Okay, so zombie movies.
My favorite zombie movie reboot, we mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Dead. Absolutely fucking loved it. Loved the original.
Yeah.
Think that the reboot is as good or even better in a lot of different ways. Really, I think kind of reinvigorated the genre. I mean, I know that 28 Days Later came before that. There was a ton of zombie stuff happening, but man, did they nail it. It's a fun movie. It's exciting. It's a little more appealing to the masses than 28 Days Later was. So
let's call this Dawn of the Zombie.
Dawn of the Zombie.
Do you guys think that like?
Because it added some fruit juice to it.
Yeah.
Do you guys
And
think
so it's
that,
like a breakfast one.
Like they drove the zombie genre kind of like too much at one point, where they're just making too much of it?
Yeah, The Walking Dead killed Comic-Con.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead did kill Comic-Con. I'll go into that later.
There could be no zombies in The Walking Dead at this point. It doesn't matter.
Well, that show actually really died off hard.
I stopped watching years ago.
Look, the early Walking Dead was great because zombies were a thing, but at some point, like every human you meet is an enemy. Every single one.
Yeah.
Like at this, I'd be so happy to see another person, you know, in this detrimental world. We're gonna talk about Walking Dead, but like they're in Atlanta, they're in Georgia.
Great strip clubs in Atlanta.
Look, the
Zombie
Walking Dead
strip
crew,
clubs now.
the
Yeah.
people that are like struggling, just go to Costco, go to Sam's. They're huge there. There's tons of factories there. All the shit you would ever need to survive is there.
Yeah.
Except everyone else has gone there first, and they put it in their bunker.
But it's stupid because they drive down the road. It's the concept is every person they see they have to kill. It's crazy. And like
What's next in your zombie list?
so one thing we want to talk about is if we follow our list, we do have an outline as an episode. We're organized to an extent. All right, but you know, I want to talk about Far From Home. There originally was a zombie like extrapolated scene in Far From Home, Spider-Man, where Spider-Man fights an army of Iron Man zombies. It was a early concept scene. There's cool concept art that you can look up as a listener. You can go to this Instagram account called
Henrik Tam.
Henrik.
Henrik. King
Henrik Tam. We'll leave a link in our description of where you can find this concept art, but it has a concept art of Spider-Man fighting an army of Iron Man zombies. Like, and where like Mysterio makes a virtual Iron Man zombies and Spider-Man fights them all. What do you guys think? Would that have been a cool scene, or is it just too much?
Too much.
It seems like it lined up with the already. They told the story they wanted to tell.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have added anything new.
It would have been a weird tonally.
Sometimes I
different
see concept art and I feel like it's a missed opportunity. This I feel like we got with the zombie Iron Man crawling out of the grave.
That
we
one-
need 10 of them.
Yeah.
That one was great,
Yeah.
but like a bunch of them would have been weird. Like you're really trying hard.
And also, it turns it into him fighting dead Tony Starks, which gets a little morbid.
No. I think for me, it's like when it's 1, it is Tony. When it's 10, it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bunch of.
Yeah.
Creepy things.
although the concept art looks great though.
Yeah,
It looks cool.
I mean, Marvel's got the best concept art division.
It looks finished. It looks nice. So,
You're loving that drink, huh, Max?
dude, 240 of muscle. I'm fine.
Jaylene would love that. He keeps saying that.
He really likes mentioning
Yeah,
how
and then
much
he's gonna have to
muscle he's
sleep
got.
over. He's gonna have to sleep over in like 20 minutes. You know, right? Like, oh, can you reheat the Thai food?
Yeah, it's adorable.
Okay, so but another thing we have on our list is we have the top 5 scariest and the top 5 funniest zombie movies, and I want to know if you guys actually think this top 5 list is accurate. Change them out as you go, but the top 5 scariest zombie movies is number 5 is 28 Days Later. Number 4 is Zombie 2 Zombie Flesh Eaters from 1980. Number 3 is Train of Busan.
I want to see that.
Number 2 is RDC, just record. And then number 1 is Night of the Living Dead for the scariest zombie movies.
Now, people might not think that Night of the Living Dead really stands up over time, but I got to tell you, it's not just that it was a scary movie, but it is like just an incredible commentary. Like just watching how these people kind of suffer in this, because like even without our tropes of what zombie movies are today, this thing invented that genre. So, you know, you see movies now where people are dealing with zombies and like, oh my God, what the hell is this thing? And it's just like, come on, man, you know what a fucking zombie is.
Right.
But this is the first one. So these actors in the thing, like you can just understand them be like, oh, well, this is not a zombie.
Yeah, so like we've seen it so much nowadays that we kind of know how to. of course I got to bunker in like 6 different shotguns and a machine gun to fight these guys.
Yeah,
I've been
come on,
planning
fucking
this for
zombies.
years.
Yeah.
But like when they made Night of the Living Dead was made in the what era it was made in?
60s?
60s?
Yeah.
Was that Romero?
It is. Okay, so a little history about that. We kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, is that there was no living dead zombies as part of fiction until George A. Romero made it so. And now that's what we think of as zombies, no longer like the Haitian voodoo doctor kind
Right.
of thing.
This is bullshit. Not one person drinks a cocktail called a zombie in these movies.
Yeah, all of this opportunity.
But
you know what
most
it
of the
is? You know what it is? They can't find the fucking falernum.
They raid these
They
goddamn
didn't,
liquor
have the,
stores.
they didn't have the absinthe.
They didn't have the absinthe.
They just get what they
They
can.
were like white rum, dark rum.
Do they have orange juice?
It's all the
Only
same.
in Florida.
It's all the same.
But now to jump into the
Oh
funniest.
my god, that'd be the worst part of a zombie apocalypse is not being able to make craft cocktails.
Yeah, really. Well, I feel like
For me.
you'd probably start to get to a point where you're, going into the drugstore and you're like, hey, you know what? I can mix Dimetap with this rubbing alcohol.
I'd kill myself first.
I just feel like in most modern zombie apocalypses, especially if you use the analog of Walking Dead, that zombies wouldn't be a problem.
Most likely to get me killed is me turning on the blender and awakening the zombies.
It just wouldn't.
It's like, Lex!
Yeah. It's like, I've got to have my fucking blended cocktail. Will you
That's
just
right.
fuck
you
off?
plebeians.
Okay,
Yeah.
so moving on to like the funniest zombie movies, I think honestly are a little more relevant. I'm a little more familiar with these. Is the number 5 is the Dead Alive Brain Dead zombie movie. Number 4 is
Who directed
Army of-
that?
Who directed it?
Yeah, Dead Alive.
Tell us.
No one?
You tell us.
I'll give you a hint. It's the man who directed The Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
The Frightener is Peter Jackson?
Peter Jackson.
well,
Weird movie, but it's really good.
Was it like one of his earlier movies?
Yeah, just like The Frighteners.
Yeah, I think he was still in New Zealand at the time.
Okay. Number 4 is Army of Darkness. Number 3 is
Where's
Return.
Evil Dead?
Sam Raimi, fucking
Yeah, but
Army
how's
of
Evil
Darkness
Dead?
again.
How's Army of Darkness? Is Army of Darkness Evil Dead 1?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
cool.
Army of Darkness is Evil Dead 3.
2.
3.
Oh, yeah. So Evil Dead 2
It's
is
Evil Dead 2,
Dead 2,
and
and
then
Army.
Army of Darkness.
So number 4 is Army of Darkness. Number 3 is Return of the Living Dead.
Very funny movie.
Number 2 is Zombieland.
perfect. The movie
It's
I've
not that
seen.
funny.
Right. And number
What are you
1
talking about?
It's okay.
Yeah, shut up.
What?
Taylor.
Yeah, you shut your mouth.
You fucking children, and
I agree with you most
watching
of
like
the
the
time.
new these things. No,
I agree with you most of the time, but that is bullshit. As a team, we did source this 5 scariest zombie films from ScreenRant.com. It's a pretty good resource for this kind of stuff. And but I think that honestly, like the funniest zombie movies are more relevant to real life than the scariest zombie movie. Number 1 is Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is probably the only movie that I'd say I've seen more than twice here. Zombieland I've seen twice. Shaun of the Dead I've seen like 5 times.
I was obsessed with Army of Darkness when I was younger. I had a Army of Darkness lunchbox. Yeah, that's how
That's
much
the
I
guy
had-
with the chainsaw arm, right?
Instead of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
Ghostbusters lunchbox?
I had that too.
I do like the scene in Zombieland, which is really funny. They have the actor, what's his face? Bill Murray is in it.
Bill
Yeah.
fucking Murray!
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And it's where they're in his house and like
You're gonna learn
he's
who to
playing
call.
to be a zombie, which is very problematic when your first reaction is to shoot a zombie.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
So
which
stupid.
kind of plays
He didn't-
out.
He
It's
didn't think that-
racist, actually.
Spoiler alert! It kind of fucks him over.
He didn't think it through.
But
Shaun of the Dead was really at the outset of like the new zombie wave of movies, and they had this incredible, like, not even parody, but just like funny version of how you would deal in a zombie apocalypse. And it was
Shaun
just
of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead, just totally
But Edgar
perfect,
Wright is like one of my favorite directors.
incredible. That whole the
off the wall,
Coronado
what's
trilogy.
the other movie they do together? What's the
They do a couple.
Oh, the
of, they
other
do
three?
Hot Fuzz.
Hot
and
Fuzz.
then
Hot Fuzz? Oh my god!
Which
Yeah,
is
they also
their best film.
It's that film's awesome.
Like if you guys put on Hot Fuzz right now, I'd invite you to sleep over. I'd say just get in the bed with me. We'll just stay in my room.
He keeps
Snuggle.
mentioning us sleeping over here, guys.
Well, 'cause
which
Max
is when
number
you're
2,
alone.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
Max
Right.
Max lives like 10 minutes away.
Yeah. I live in the
Upper Best Side.
Upper Best Side.
Yeah, there's no zombies there.
no.
Except people who buy kale every week.
No. Upper West Side is a bunch of
Let's be honest, kale sucks. Okay, like
Yeah,
throw
you-
it out there.
you'd be eating
a
kale,
bunch
you'd
of-
be-
Upper West Side is a bunch of young Jewish families and like old ancient people. So there are zombies. They're just doing their like
They haven't died yet.
they're
still
doing their like
technically alive. Yeah.
like Saturday walking through the neighborhood kind of
I'm
thing.
going to be honest. If you could be eating kale or drinking this drink, what would you pick?
What? This drink, obviously.
Because I'm going to be honest. I like this drink more than the last
Hey,
one.
do you want to drink this drink or get punched in the face? Just like, come on, man.
I mean, no, like, I think this drink is like better than the first one.
Do you know what I called this earlier? That by the time that we finish the first zombie, the second zombie is going to taste like ambrosia from the gods.
I mean,
But what do you actually think? Do you think it's better or worse?
I think it's really great. I think it's fantastic.
I would take either.
Yeah,
You throw one at
happily
me.
take-
So,
I would
so
happily
if I
grab
opened a
these
bar,
things.
right? The reason I want to say this is knowing how I feel about purists.
You want an investment? I'm here.
No, but I'm talking about, you know how I feel about being a purist.
He loves spending money.
Yeah, he really does.
Burning a hole in the pocket.
You guys know how I feel about being a purist and being like a really, really true to the form. If I made a bar and this is how I made my zombie, would you guys tell me, fuck Lex, you're off base, or you can totally release that song?
Well, that's why you're
I
calling
would
it
tell
the
my
Dawn of the Zombie.
friends-
But that is a long name.
I would tell my friends, if you want to have a good zombie, go to this bar.
Could you call it the George A. Romero? And, we're all drinking, having a good time. And he poses a question to us. And he goes, if you were invited to a wake of a dear friend, someone who passed away, healthy person, just, died suddenly. And at the wake, they were passing around these hors d'oeuvres, which is a cracker, a little bit of meat on it. Now, there's a video where the guy is saying, listen, this is part of me.
Yeah.
It's human meat. I would like to, you guys to eat it so that I can still be part of you in some small way.
Yeah.
Would you eat it?
Yeah, I'd poop him.
I eat the shit out of that cracker.
Yeah. So a lot of people answered yes. Most people answered no. My favorite one was one of my friends said, I couldn't do it now. And I was like, well, why not? And he goes, what if I really liked it? And that I gotta tell you has stuck with me. I have never stopped thinking about that. Like, Jesus, what would happen?
I know we kind of dabbled on a couple of zombie movies, but I mean, any of our audience has known the past like 5-6 years, zombie shit has been crazy. With The Walking Dead, they've kind of ran that shit into the ground.
Ran into the ground.
Oh my God. It was good in the beginning, terrible in the end. But my question to the group, like we live in New York City, 8 million fucking people. Zombie apocalypse happens. People start turning to shit. What the fuck do you do? How do you figure this shit out?
So I've thought about this extensively. I think about this wherever I go, what I would do in a zombie apocalypse. Honestly, at first, just fucking stay in my apartment, locked down. I'm not going anywhere. It's not worth it to try to go out in the streets where, there could be enemies and every turn. So you hunker down for a little bit. You wait till it kind of dies down. Problem for me is that, I'm more protected in my apartment because I'm in the back, but I
Yeah.
can't see what's going on as easily.
Do you have do you have a fire escape you can get on?
I do, but that fire escape could also be a zombie egress device.
'Cause I'm looking at Lex's fire escape right now, and you could definitely get there and like survey your street.
So, fucking incredible Max Brooks, who wrote the Zombie Survival Guide and then World War Z, which was made into a movie that was not that great. The book is way better. And I don't mean that in the kind of like, oh, they forgot this. It's just an entirely different thing. I don't even know where they got the movie from. But he basically says that in the instance of a zombie, the most dangerous thing is they can know where you are at all. Because even if they can't get there, they'll start to try to come to there. And then zombies will attract other zombies. They'll be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, maybe I need to go over that way. Like, the noise that gets generated will bring more of them there. So this right here is just going to become, like, target number one.
So
They're gonna come
basically,
up this
like,
way.
close your blinds. Don't even look out there.
Yeah,
Peek through the blinds if you can. It's fine.
right. Make as little noise as
Because
possible.
I'm thinking about like, if New York goes all to shit, the water system shuts down. How do you use the bathroom? Do you like poop in a bucket and just dump it out the window?
Well, that's the same thing. Most of the rules you should follow are probably similar to what we do in a hurricane. you'd fill up your bathtub with water that you can use for the toilet and things like that. But also, when you think about it, the way that we use, this is probably not podcast worthy, but the way that we use water in toilets is ridiculous when you think about like the
conservation.
Well, no, like that fresh water, the fresh, good water that we could use to survive on is the same water that Americans poop into.
Yeah.
So like we use the best of the best, the things that the people in these other countries, Africa and whatever, don't have access to for poop water. We don't have to do that. We could use gray water as it's, you know,
You could use Pepsi. You could use Coke. It doesn't matter. You could just use a bucket, not even water.
Yeah, exactly.
Just dump that shit out.
Right. So
sure, your place stinks a little bit, but it's not like you're shitting in the corner.
Yeah. So for like survival fucking rules apply here, and hurricane rules probably would be pretty similar. The real problem is if you plan to escape, like for me, my family's out in Long Island, so I'd want to go visit them. How would I get there? And there's not a lot of good options.
You could walk.
Yeah, but how?
As long as you can protect yourself.
You got to go over a bridge or a tunnel, and both of those could have lots of bad boys in them.
I mean, I think you're better off on a bridge, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You can jump off the bridge if you need to.
You could.
Yeah.
You can also, I mean, this bridge, there's open space, daylight. A tunnel, you're closed off.
So what I was thinking is that I would try to find one of the places that has the kayaks on the water.
Yeah.
So I'm on the west side. I would go along the west side highway, find a kayak, jump on that, try to kayak around Manhattan.
I'm sure you've read about like the exit strategies for Manhattan, where people have like people already paid to take them off Manhattan.
Really?
So like there's boat operators who have clients who are already paid to take certain individuals off of Manhattan via boat. If shit does go down, whether it be a zombie apocalypse, a war, whatever it is, that they are paid to take these individuals to Jersey, to whatever, across the Hudson. To get
I'd
them
rather
off.
die.
My cousin has a go bag, and he's paid someone in gold to take him off and sustain him for 16 months.
He already paid him?
Yes.
And it doesn't have to really show up, does
And
it?
he told me he paid for 4 other people, and he'll decide who the other 3 are at a later date.
I don't know. Like for me, like, you know,
You're in Brooklyn, which is different. So you're on a major land body.
I'm already close enough to walk.
Yeah, you could go out. You could get to fucking
Well,
Fire
that was
Island
like
or
the
something
one
like that.
time me and you walked across Fire Island together in the winter.
Yep.
We were filming some random shit for something we were making, and we were walking through the neighborhood. But this is during the winter when nobody is there.
Yep.
So on this island where it's like a bunch of beach houses and stuff, and nobody's there, and we're like, this is what it would be like. There's nobody here. It's just me and you walking with backpacks and coats on. 'cause
It
it's
did
cold.
feel very post-apocalyptic.
It was kind of cool.
It
I'll
was
be
really
honest,
cool,
It was
yeah.
really cool. Like, Taylor, we could pull this off. We could really do this.
Zombie.
But so
zombie.
our meeting point is near Taylor's parents' house in Long Island, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be out there.
Which actually, funny story. In high school, it was. I told my friends that was the meeting place also, in case of a zombie apocalypse. And back in the early 2000s, there was a blackout that affected all of Long Island and most of New York. And some of my friends showed up because they were just like, fucking end of the world. Here we are, Taylor.
This is the plan. This is
Let's
what we gotta
play
do.
Risk. And that's what we did. We played Risk. Ill-advisedly, I want to tell everyone in the audience right now that Lex is making us our 3rd zombie, which, if you've ever seen a zombie movie, this is the equivalent of letting yourself get bit by a fucking zombie.
the equivalent of putting a shotgun in your face.
Maybe not as
This is
dark as
what,
that,
like-
I hope.
This is from 10 to 12 shots in of rum.
Yeah.
We're on like Jack Sparrow's level right now.
I could drink Jack Sparrow under the table.
Fuck, I don't know. The real guy. Like, if there was an interpretation of the actual person, like
Oh, Keith Richards is the real life
I know,
version
I
of
saw
it.
him.
And honestly, now
that's such a
that
good,
I say about
that's
it,
such a cool story, by the way.
yeah, now that I say that, I don't think I could. Like, I feel like I'm a world class drinker, but fucking A, no way I'd go.
But
against
it's, I mean, Keith Richards, it's not just drinking, it's kind of everything at once. It's not just alcohol, it's also cocaine, it's also heroin, it's also LCD. It's everything at once. But, guys, I think we did it. I think this is another episode of the Recipe Podcast.
This was
Cheers.
an episode.
Cheers to them.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. Lex, thank you so much for making the zombies for us today. Thank you for making the zombie reboot and the...
Wait, do we name it? The Dawn of the Zombie?
I feel like we need a shorter name.
Zombie Reboot? Because if I open a bar, I'm calling it Zombie Reboot until you guys tell me.
Okay. Yeah. I'd say here's the thing, is that I think that all of the things should just be called the reboot.
No. I want my Zombie Reboot to stand apart from the zombie imitators. And you understand why now.
No. What I'm saying is that all of our reboots should just have the word reboot in it.
Well, no, the Tomorrow is great.
Yeah. That's a really good name. Fuck. Okay. I take it back.
What was it? What was originally the Tomorrow? How'd that come about?
Because it has Amaro in it.
Oh, the Tomorrow, spelled differently.
Yeah. Max, why don't you just play us out?
What do you mean to play us out?
I'm going through names in my head. I'm like, is it called the Coffin? Is it called the Long Night? Is it called...
We call it the Cranberries?
I am not against having a multiple syllable 3-word name.
How about we think about it? We think about it, and then the next podcast we tell them.
Look, if I saw on a menu Dawn of the Zombie as a drink, 3 words, I would notice that because every other one is 1 word. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
The Hell or High Water is a drink name. You know, it's like it's like the Cut Bait or Go Home is a drink name.
Okay,
so why don't we say
I got this. So Lex's reboot, we're calling it the Dawn of the Zombie. It's not a zombie; it's a reboot. Still very good.
References Dawn of the Dead.
It respects the original recipe, and it's very tasty.
So tasty. Well done, Lex. Thank you for making that.
Thank you, guys.
So if you're a listener, make a Dawn of the Zombie, and cheers to you for listening. Thank you for dealing with another episode of the Recipe Podcast.
Thank you for taking another shot and writing us a review and writing us giving us a score and a rating and clicking all the things. You have to click so many things
If
today.
you are listening on Apple Podcast, please list a review because we would love to read it live on the podcast. And if you're not listening to Apple Podcast, just jump on there and write a review and jump off. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Also, send us an email. You know, talk to us. You know, we're your bartenders. Get in our faces. Get a little drunk. Get a little ornery. Tell us something.
Tweet us at the Recipe Boys. The Recipe Boys, boys being spelled BOYZ, and we will respond. We have a really small community right now. We're still growing as a podcast, and we'd love to get your feedback and also topics you'd like us to cover as a podcast together. We have a lot of fun doing this, and we want to enjoy the community and the people that listen to us and continue on doing that. So
Beautiful.
thank you so much, and we will catch you in the next episode of the Recipe Podcast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We are the Recipe Boys, and thank you so much.
Pro, Slanche.
Thank you.
Ah.